Well, hello there. I'm Matt Stine, professional tarot reader, astrologer, and Jungian life coach, and I'm inviting you to join me on a Resonant Life Expedition. What is that exactly? You know that sensation you get when you read or watch or listen to something? You know that sensation? Yes, this is good. This feels right and natural and comfortable. We say things resonate with us. See, I believe that all of life can be like that. I don't mean that you won't have challenges, that you won't have bad things happen to you, that systems of violence and oppression can't have an impact on your ability to live peacefully in this world. I am saying that you can find a spiritual state where those things don't make you angry, frightened, sorrowful, or upset. Now, you can choose to be any of those things, and there's nothing wrong with choosing to feel your entirely valid feelings. But you can also choose differently. You have that power. It's already inside of you. You just have to connect with it and let it flow. Resonant Life Expeditions remind you of the power you have to make that connection and let it flow. Now, it wasn't always like that for me. I remember when I began my journey, I felt disconnected from my identity and why I was here in this universe. I felt lost at sea. I was isolated from myself and from other people. I was bored. I was tired. I was just kind of casting about every day. I could not find my passion. Things that generally would light me on fire, I just didn't have any energy for them anymore. I was drained. I was empty. Now, you might say, oh, you were depressed. And yeah, the symptoms look similar, but I've been down that road. I was diagnosed with depression in 2017, and I've been on a pretty effective dose of compensating meds ever since. This was something different. Like something was clearly missing from the very depth of my soul. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. So I was born into a family with really deep roots in the Appalachian Mountains of North Carolina and Virginia. And so church was just part of the equation. And while my church upbringing had more of a folk religion character to it than, what you would look at and say that's evangelical Christianity right now, two things were still apparent and in common. One, you were born a sinner. You are justifiably on your way to a really terrible and really frightening place called hell for all eternity. And if you ask Jesus into your heart, you can get your hands on some incredible fire insurance that will send you to heaven, where you get to worship Jesus 24/7 by 365. Now, to a child who'd rather spend their time climbing trees and digging foxholes, neither of those sounded like an excellent option. But one day, at the Good News Club across the street, I lifted my hand and I let a random lady take me to another room and lead me in a prayer. And so began my fraught relationship with Christianity. We fast forward through my turbulent teenage and college years when we land in 2001. It's time to grow up, get married, get a real job, find a good church, and leap into the belly of the Southern Baptist beast, if you will. I spent the next 10 years doing what sounds like crazy stuff now, teaching young married adult Sunday school classes and going around knocking on doors, training people in what we called evangelism explosion. 10 years later, around 2011, my entire life kind of shifted. New direction professionally. I went from working in an office to traveling all over the place for business and doing a lot of public speaking and hanging out with a lot of really smart people who were not from the background that I was from. And I missed a lot of church too, because I was traveling a lot on the weekends. Little did I know, but what was happening is my unconscious mind was slowly and carefully drawing me into this process that I now know is called deconstruction. awful apart from me one morning, sitting in London City Airport. We'll never forget it. 5 a.m. I'm watching the TV, and there are the 2016 U.S. presidential election results scrolling across the Cairo on the screen. Walked into that morning thinking, well, anyone other than Hillary Clinton becoming the next POTUS was impossible. But now the impossible was something that I had to accept. This worldview, I thought I knew it, I thought I understood it, I'd fortified it for 15 years, just went gone, disintegrated. For me, the election of Donald Trump as president was the catalyst that caused my whole paradigm to implode. You know, my mental model of how shit works, gone. And I would spend the next 3 years of my life really deconstructing my faith in earnest. Where did I land? After a brief period of what I'll call militant atheism, I kind of just settled in a place where spirituality was simply not a part of my life. As we descended into the early months of the COVID-19 pandemic, I probably should have realized that not having a spirituality wasn't working for me. I did watch a few church services on YouTube. Like, that was all I knew about spirituality. But anything that looked like the church of my younger years just wasn't compelling. And so I just really didn't think about these things anymore until it caught up with me and I found myself lost at sea in the latter part of 2022. So my software engineering career, along with the entire technology job market, was taking a turn for the worse. My sister attempted suicide, and I just kind of crashed. It's really incredible how good times can provide the illusion that a lack of spiritual connection is okay. But then you go through troubled times and that same illusion ends up being shattered. So I start looking for answers. I found a group, Harbor Online Community. It's a progressive church that meets exclusively online. And they provide a platform for spiritual dialogue amongst peers rather than sort of force feeding by pastors in the pulpit. This community, bound not by artificial cohorts based on age or heteronormative marital status, we span multiple decades. We have married people, single people, divorced people, widowed people, dating, straight, gay, trans, every queer variety thriving in the spaces between. It's a community that accepts and supports, and a community that, well, quite frankly, I'm proud to be a part of. Now, surprisingly, through this community, a church, I found solace in the tarot. A member of our community talked about pulling tarot cards as part of their spiritual life. And I thought, wow. And I got into it. And it provided this comforting framework, a way to kind of understand and navigate the complexities of life in a new way. Astrology also offered a sense of relief. It's like a way to connect with these cosmic forces out there that shape our existence that wasn't based on necessarily God or Jesus. And through both of those things, astrology and tarot, I encountered the idea of archetypes. And through archetypes, I discovered the work of Carl Jung. And so what was happening is the universe was providing me piece by piece by piece with all the tools that I needed to construct a new spirituality. A spirituality that finally felt like home to me. Christianity never felt like home. Even when I believed in it the most, I would say, I ever did, I still never felt quite comfortable in my own skin, but now I do. My journey accelerated after I went to a wonderful event called Theology Beer Camp in October of 2023. And I made this amazing web of connections through that event that eventually, through many hops, introduced me to people like Hannah O'Neill, Tanae Stewart, Wendy Mata, and Deborah and Dr. Rob Maldonado. These are people who've become mentors and coaches for me, who, ultimately helped me, empowered me, really, to craft the spirituality that I have today. And it's centered in a very eclectic combination of witchcraft, psychic divination, cartomancy, that's just reading tarot and oracle cards, astrology, Eastern philosophy, and Jungian psychology, and it's really empowered me in ways I never thought were possible. But, and this is really important, it's not my particular brand of practice that matters. It's the results that I obtained and the fact that I did it on my own terms. See, now I feel deeply connected to my identity and my purpose, and I feel a deep connection to Source. You feel free to substitute God or Spirit or whatever term makes you more comfortable. Could even just be your higher self. You don't have to bring a deity into the equation. I am brimming with passion. And I really, for the first time that I can remember, at least in a long time, I can't wait to get to work every day. I have rediscovered focus and excitement. When things resonate with me, they raise my energy level. I feel not empty, but full. And I don't have any regrets. And this is what I call the resonant life. A life where you feel deeply connected to your purpose, your spirituality, and the world around you. Is a life filled with passion, energy, and a sense of fulfillment. And I want it for you too. Yeah, I discovered it on my own. Still, my path was greatly accelerated and enriched by the fantastic humans alongside me as guides and conversation partners. I would not be where I am today without coaches. And now I'd like to pay that experience forward to you. What will you discover on your Resonant Life Expedition? Starting with your identity. High control religion specified your identity for you. A self-identity independent of the definition of your spiritual authority received from God, that just wasn't a thing available to you. Resonant Life Expeditions empower you to discover the unique human that embodies your soul. Then your purpose. High control religion specified your purpose for you. It's probably something along the lines of, well, you're here to worship a God and only do his or her or their will and convert additional followers to your faith. Resonant Life Expeditions empower you to discover the purpose your soul selected for this lifetime. You'll discover your map. Now, high control religion provided the only map you got. Let me guess. It was called the Bible or the inspired, infallible, inerrant Word of God. Resonant Life Expeditions empower you to craft a spiritual map that resonates with your soul. Deity's optional. You'll discover your plan, which again, high control religion provided you with your plan. You read the Bible in a year, pray an hour every day, seek and save the lost, show up at church whenever the doors are open. Resonant Life Expeditions empower you to choose spiritual practices that inspire and nurture your soul. You'll also discover your GPS, which high control religion literally installed your GPS. This guilty conscience, constantly accusing you of sinning and labeling you somehow unworthy of God's love. Resonant Life Expeditions empower you to create a vibrant connection to the essence of divine love that's resident within your very soul. So, what does it look like? How much does it cost? Well, there's two options. Think of it like a choose your own adventure. The first option is my 3-month base camp package. And this is going to be 6 30-minute private coaching sessions over Zoom. So that's 2 sessions per month for 3 months. I'll provide email support in between sessions. You'll get a special soul-aligned spiritual practices, astrology, and tarot combined reading that I've developed to help you look at what astrology and tarot can say about what spiritual practices might be good things for you to try out. And of course, again, like with everything, you take what resonates and you leave the rest. You may be interested while we're working together and doing additional tarot and astrology readings. You'll get a 10% discount through the shop on any of those that you choose to do. And of course, we will come up with other exercises and tools to support you reaching your goal. So the regular price for this, if you pay for it monthly, is $1,500. And that's $500 a month for 3 months. If you pay in full, you'll get a special price of $1,250. Of course, all of those are US currency. The second option and the highest value option is my 6-month summit package. So this is now 12 of those 30-minute private coaching sessions over Zoom, so double. Still 2 sessions per month, except now it's for 6 months. The email support is still there. The soul-aligned spiritual practices reading is still there. But you will also get a 20% discount on readings through the shop. And in addition to those other exercises and tools, you will receive a bonus 90-minute expedition planning session, which will replace that first of the 30-minute private coaching sessions. And so this package runs regularly $3,000 or 6 payments of $500. If you pay in full, you will get a special price of $2,500. That's $500 off the total cost. So, are you ready to begin? There's a button just beneath this video allowing you to book an absolutely free 30-minute soul alignment side quest. During these sessions, we discuss your background, your goals, as well as I'll answer any questions you have about Resonant Life Expeditions. But this is not simply a get-to-know-you coffee or a sales presentation. Soul alignment side quests are real spiritual life coaching. It's just a sample size experience of how we will work together every time that we meet for a coaching session. So click that button down below now to book your slot, and I will see you at the entrance to the labyrinth.